Hello, 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 and good morning to you. How is everybody doing? My name is Zoe Baraka, and it is Tuesday, so we are here for To My Younger Self, where we tell stories that will propel us from the past into the future. You know, there's a saying that if you don't know where you've been, you certainly cannot know where you're going. So where have you been? What is your story? Good morning and welcome to My Younger Self. Listen, as always, I don't see you. I know we're starting really, really early today. It's 7 a.m. So when you do come on, can you please do me a favor? Go into the comment section and say hello, say welcome, say what's up, do something. Let me know you are in the room with us, okay? All right. As always, because we are Africans telling African stories, we try to greet each other and love on each other in different African dialects, just so we're comfortable with each other. I always like to start with Burkina Faso. I don't know. It's probably because I am half from there, you know. So let's do this. Let's do this. Bella to you if you speak. Bella to you if you speak Moshi. I am so grateful for you. Ibioke Bare to you if you speak Moshi. It is so good to see you. Listen, Sanunku Dazua Yayade Yakakwana. Ikwana Lafia, I am speaking to you in Hausa right now. God bless you. I am so grateful that you are in our lives. Thank you for joining us. Yaken Ken, Futuma Tuma, Futua Wella, Futuma Awella, Tipose Wenam Baraka. I just greeted you in the Kusal dialect, in the Mampruli dialect. It is so good to see you. Thank you, thank you. La Anwane, the Frafras will say Ansuma. The Wallace will say Ansuma Hogange Songo. The Dagares will say Enda Soba to you if you speak Dagomba and you are in Tamale or anywhere in Ghana for that matter. Really, anywhere in the world. If you speak Dagomba, Dasoba to you. Indinao to you. Wezo Lo to you if you speak Ewe and you are from the Volta region of Ghana. I greet you. I salute you. Thank you so much for joining us. OJ Ko to you if you speak Ga. It is so good to see you. Ekaro to you. Ekabo to you if you speak Yoruba. God bless you. I see you. I see you. Otutuoma to you. Nabata to you if you speak Igbo and you are from the Igbo people of Nigeria. Emesiere to you. Emedio to you. I greet you. I greet you from the southern part of Nigeria. And if you speak the Ibibio dialect, God bless you. Thank you for joining us. Etisen Akwaba. Ohunte den memawache ya danyango pawasi. Nyaminshrao, you know what I just said? I said, how are you doing? It is so good to see you. I thank you. I blessed you. I said, we thank God for you. In the Akan dialect, I just said all of that in Tree, Akan, Achim, all of the different dialects. Thank you for joining us. Karibu sana to you if you speak Swahili. Habari gani to you. Habari ya Osubwe to you. Oyaure to you if you are from the Luos of Kenya. Thank you for joining us. Murembe to you if you are also in Kenya. Awana to you if you speak the Mende of the Sierra Leonean people. Thank you for joining us. Mangwananani to you. And of course, Makadii to you if you speak Shona and you are from the Shona people of Zimbabwe. I greet you. I greet you. Thank you for joining us. Linjani to you from the Ndebeles of Zimbabwe. Thank you for joining us. Nagadev to you if you speak Wolof. Thank you for joining us all the way in Senegal. We are so grateful to you. Kochong to you and Amohelang to you if you speak Sesotho from the Botswana people. Thank you so much for joining us. Akei to you, the Creoles who said, now Mai, if you speak Maori, and Welena to you, if you are in Hawaii and you speak Hawaiian. It is so good to see you. Dumela to you from the Soto people of South Africa. Sawabona to you, if you are in the Zulu land of South Africa. I am greeting you. Good morning. Kotoli to you, if you speak Fulani. Of course, bonjour to you if you speak French in any part of Africa. Guten Morgen, the Germans will say, of course, buongiorno. Dobroyo otro to you. Buenos dias. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I thank you for joining us. God bless you. It is so good to see you. And now that we've greeted each other, ooh, I see somebody is here. Good morning to you. Oh my God, our amazing producer, Big Sis Elsie. It is so good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us all the way in Toronto. We are thankful for you. Let me tell you, today is one of the, it's a special day for me. One, because God has been grateful and gracious to us, and He has been gracious and graceful, not grateful. We are grateful. God is graceful to us, and He's brought us into the month of September. As we always do here at To My Younger Self, we're always praying about the people who would come on the show. And, you know, this particular woman, even though I wanted to bring her on like many, many months ago, I kept saying, but I need a power person to open December for us, a power person to open December for us. And for some reason, God just kind of said, you know what, this is her. That's the person you need. I have known Pastor Theresa for a little over a year now, and it feels like I've known her all my life. There's some people in life that when you meet them, there's a clicking. It just kind of clicks, and it's no matter what you do, that's just a click. And that's what it is. And she is a powerful woman of God. And you know how it is. We always reverence our pastors and our teachers and our preachers. But there's an air about her that makes it so easy to go to her with anything and everything. There's another thing I should tell you about this woman I'm about to introduce to you. There's a grace on her that when you attach your life to her, you just have no option but to grow. I have cracked jokes about this, but it is the truth. Ever since I joined her prayer line and her team of women, prayer warrior women, I believe that To My Younger Self kind of just took a leap from maybe like a 2 and took it all the way to about 100 in like a very short time. This is what the power of connectivity will do. And I am so excited to introduce her to you. There's so many pet names for her. I personally like to call her Mother General. There's a story behind that, and one day maybe I will tell you, if you are nice to me. Others call her Big Sis. I'm sure some people call her Auntie and, Mother and all that. But for the most part, she is Pastor Theresa Laryea, a powerful servant of the living God. And let me read her bio to you, or else I'll just keep going and going. Okay. She is such a modest woman. At the beginning of her bio, she has a power mission statement. She says, "This is who I am, completely sold out to Jesus, absolutely surrendered to the Holy Spirit, and on a mission to advance God's mission on earth." Oh my God, what a power statement. Question for you. Do you have a power statement for your life? Because she just taught me that. Minister Theresa is passionate about helping people go deeper in their commitment and relationship with the Heavenly Father, thereby bringing renewal and revival of destinies of individuals. What did I tell you? Her vision is to see God's people rooted and grounded in the love of Christ as expressed in Ephesians 3:14-17, and under the direction of the Holy Spirit has founded several ministries under the umbrella of Theresa Laryea Ministries International. And let me tell you, I belong to a few of those umbrellas. There is not one of them that does not pack a punch. Okay, you have no idea. She is the author of 3 powerful books. One, Hannah's Song. Go get that book if you're going through some dry, thirsty places in your life. If you're looking for one thing in particular and you have not, been able to kind of like reach it yet, you need that book. Trust me. Of course, A Hotline to Heaven and The King's Choice, and has a 4th book on the way. She is a trained architect and an accomplished artist. You should hear her sing. And maybe if we're really good, we can kind of like corral her and kind of like ask her nicely if she could sing for us. But we'll see. We're going to put that on the back burner for now. And all to the glory of God. She is married to the love of her life. Ooh, I love this part. And lives with him and their miracle daughters in Arkansas. I like to always call Arkansas, Arkansas. But ladies and gentlemen, after this very, very, very powerful introduction, you have no choice but to help me please welcome the powerful, indomitable Pastor Theresa Laryea. Hello.
Hello, Lady Zoe. So good to see you
So,
today.
so good to see you. Oh my God. Finally, we did it. We pulled you
Finally,
in.
yes.
Welcome to the family of storytellers.
I know, right? Thank you.
No, thank you. All right. In the grand tradition of storytelling unto my younger self, over to you, Pastor Theresa.
Oh, thank you so much, Lady Zoe, for this privilege and this honor. Hello, world. Hello, people
No.
of God. It's so good to see you this morning. And man, I don't know. You know, when Lady Zoe asked me to come and share my story, I was like, I don't know. Do I have any stories? I'm usually so serious, preaching, praying. But I have a sense that this platform is a serious platform, but we should be able to have some fun, right?
Yes.
So I'm just going to be easygoing.
Mm.
Um, this morning, it's I don't know, I had to take a journey back and revisit my childhood because this program is basically speaking to my younger self. Um, I've had an adventurous life. Now that I think about it, quite a number of experiences, and I will just highlight a few. Otherwise, we will not leave today.
I love it.
So let's talk about my beginning.
Mm.
My parents met at Wesley College
Mm.
when they were both students, and according to my mother's story, they were both on the theater group,
Wow.
and so that's how they met. Um, and Lady Zoe, blood don't lie. That drama, that love for acting, was birthed in me as well. We'll talk about that when we get there. But well, they married, and my dad at that time was a student. Um, Decided he wanted to be an educationist, and so this uh, sent him all the way to the United States to do his master's degree at the University of New Hampshire in Durham, New Hampshire. Prior to that, my parents had gone through years and years of infertility
Mhm.
without success, many, many miscarriages. Um, they'd almost given up having, you know, biological children.
Wow.
And so they emerged in New Hampshire, United States, and lo and behold, my mom got pregnant. And the miracle was not that she got pregnant. The miracle was that she actually delivered a live baby, which
Mm.
was me. And even the circumstances surrounding my birth were very traumatic. I
Mm.
mean, so traumatic. I was extremely premature. They had to airlift my mom from New Hampshire all the way to Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut,
Mm.
where I was born at the Mount Sinai Hospital in Hartford. So then began my life. At the age of 4 months, I almost died um, due to some uh, respiratory sickness.
Mm.
And my mom made a covenant with God. At that time, they were nominal Christians, going to church. They didn't really know God. And so my mother cried out to the Lord and made a deal with God, like Hannah did with Samuel.
Mm.
Said, if you raise this girl up and let her survive this. We promised to bring her up in the fear of the Lord.
Wow.
I guess God, who is a God of deals and covenants and promises, was provoked and caused me to live. At that time, this gentleman, Norman Vincent Peale, of blessed memory, was in town at that time. I'm talking about 72. I'm 49 years old.
Wow.
And somehow my dad managed to get access to him and asked him to come and pray for me in the hospital. And so Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, after praying for me, told my parents, this girl's going to live. And she's going to be a blessing to many.
Wow.
And so God did it. And in fact, my parents had a relationship with this man up till his death. Up until today, my mom still gets free subscriptions of Guidepost, which you all know Dr. Norman Vincent Peale founded.
Right.
So that was my beginning. And I grew up a very precocious, curious girl. Then at the age of 7, my dad decided to go and do. Actually, he was based at the University of Cape Coast. So 1 year after they had me, my big brother, who is 5 years older, and my parents and I came back to the United States, where we settled. To the University of Cape Coast, where we settled in Ghana, until I was 7, and my father decided to do a PhD, which ended us in Bloomington, Indiana, where he did his PhD at Indiana University. And it was there that, certain gifts and talents that I had within me began to manifest. My singing talent manifested at the age of 8. We belonged to a church called Evangelical Community Church, where at that time, Paul Wilbur of Integrity Hosanna fame was just a young man in the worship team. He had a group called Harvest. One day, I told you about the gift for drama. I was asked to act the part of Esther in a play, and I had to sing. It was like a cantata. And so that was my first public solo, which after the program, Paul Wilbur went to my parents and said, you all need to get this girl a voice trainer because she has a gift. And so he spoke into my life. And my parents took that to heart. So they enrolled me in piano lessons and things to do with music. And my singing talent began to bud even then. Fast forward, after my dad's PhD, he came back to Ghana, back to the University of Cape Coast. At that time, people were already preparing to do their common entrance. And I tell you, the difference between the American educational system and Ghanaian system is very great. Whereas I was a straight A student in America, when I came to Ghana, I did not know anything.
Oh my God.
I was failing. It was so traumatic for me. And so my parents had to get teachers and take me through a crash course for common entrance. I was still kind of young because I've always been one of the youngest in my class, but my dad had so much confidence in me and said I could do it. So they pushed me and I did the common entrance and passed enough to become a day student at the greatest school in the world, Wesley Girls High School.
Greatest school in the world.
Yes, indeed. No argument.
I'm going to let you just have that because today is your day, because I was about to put up an argument. But
yes. So I had to go through all that for you to understand this particular part of my story, which is the first story that I actually want to tell. So because of and you know, I've always been a high achiever. My parents are high achievers. My mom was brought up in a strict Presbyterian household. My grandfather, her dad was a reverend minister, Presbyterian reverend minister, very disciplined, high achieving. So was my dad when it comes to education. I mean, he was into it, of course. And here was their daughter struggling with school. I felt that I had let my parents down. I felt I was a disgrace. I felt so embarrassed. It was just a mess. So though I passed the common entrance barely enough to get my foot in, that shadow continued to pursue me. It was not easy for me in my studies because I had to rush to get some basics in. And so anyway, this really played with my self-esteem. And I just couldn't fit in, you know, coming from a different culture, being plucked into this culture, a culture where, you know, I didn't have to scrub, I didn't have to sweep, I didn't have to, you know, I did the menial chores, just wash dishes. Now brought into this environment where now I have to do hard labor and not feeling like I belonged and all that, I began to enter into a very deep state of depression. But at that time, there was no one to talk to. I didn't want to add this extra burden to my parents, so I suffered quietly until one day I was just so tormented, and I felt life was just so hopeless that I decided to commit suicide. By that time, I was a boarder. I was in boarding school, and just don't want to go through all that. But the end result is that when I attempted to take my life by casting myself literally down from a balcony, somebody walked in, and that woke me up, brought me back to sanity. And I went to the chapel, and I wept unto the Lord because I couldn't believe that I had come so close to doing that. And it all just came back to me. Oh my God, look at how my parents have suffered to have me. What would have happened if I had actually succeeded? And I was just so repentant. I was just in a state of repentance. I was so repentant. I asked God to forgive me. And then I asked God to take me out of this torment. I asked God to break me out of this. And at that time, it so happened that our school nurse was looking for volunteers to come and to volunteer at the sick bay. And the Lord told me, this is where I want you to go. I want you to volunteer. So at that time, I forgot to tell you the most important part was I got born again at the age of 8. One Saturday morning, my parents led me to Christ. And so I had walked with Jesus from the age of 8. He became my best friend, my invisible friend. I had that reality that my parents really did deliver on their promise. My upbringing was very strategic because the whole of my upbringing was geared towards fulfilling their promise to God. So they put me in environments that would grow me spiritually. By the age of 15, 14, I was already, you know, functioning like an adult Christian. I had so much knowledge. I had so much exposure to it. And so I could hear the voice of God, you know. And so I joined the volunteer group. We were about 30 something when we volunteered. Within 2 weeks, it was whittled down to just me. And I served under this school nurse called Auntie Mary. I did all the menial jobs she asked me to do. I made kenke soakings. I cleaned up vomit. I helped people go to the bathroom. I helped people make their beds. There were times she would even take a trip out to town and leave me in charge till she came back. I was there usually during prep time. So I became her assistant, basically. And that just, Lady Zoe, it was then that contentment and joy just began to bubble up in my heart as I helped people. And that was where my calling became very clear to me, that when I grew up, I wanted to do something that would help people because it just gave me so much joy. And this girl who could barely fit in earlier, thought she had no friends, didn't have a voice, all of a sudden was making friends with people, praying for people at that tender age, just ministering to my friends, seniors, juniors, colleagues who came into the sick bay. And through that, God just opened me up. Depression just vanished. Wherever it came from, it left. And that was how God delivered me. You know what? Depression, Lady Zoe, in hindsight, I believe that depression is a self-centered sickness. When you have depression, it means that you are spending most of your time thinking about yourself. When you begin to think about others, that's where deliverance comes. Because then you begin to hear stories. You begin to understand that your situation is not the worst situation in the world.
Yes.
You understand you are truly blessed. And God puts you in a place where you can help someone. It gives you a purpose. So that is my first story, how God delivered me from juvenile depression without therapy, without deliverance, casting out of demons. You know, not everything in life has to do with casting out demons. There are some things in life that we go through that God would instruct us, give us instructions to get out of these situations. So I give God praise for that. But I believe that God allowed me to go through that because eventually I wrote a story, for a nationwide publication about how God delivered me through depression. And quite a number of people wrote to me. Those times in Ghana, you know, even with the mail system, I got letters from Tamale, letters all over the world. Your story made a difference. I almost committed suicide after I read your story. I decided to live, you know, things like that. I was actually twice or so called into a live, crisis where one of my friends, actually she was a friend, was about to kill herself. She had a child out of wedlock, and the mother was really judgmental and making her life a living hell. One day she locked herself in the bathroom with a pair of scissors with her baby and said she was about to kill herself. And they called me. I don't know, but they knew that I had a relationship with her, that I was one of the people that spoke and she listened. I'm telling you, I was a teenager. I was in lower six. She was like in form four or five, form five. And because of my experience, I was able to talk her out of it. So there are many reasons why God would allow us to go through certain things. When you go through things like this, what is birthed in you is empathy and compassion for the other human being. And as a minister, you cannot do ministry without empathy, without a deep-seated compassion for people. And I think that, that's why I went through those situations.
Wow.
So that's my first story. Second story is...
I want to backtrack a little bit because, I mean, I've had the privilege and the honor of hearing bits and pieces, and I feel like you added more
Yes.
to it today that I'm just kind of like, first of all, let me just say good morning and to all of our honored audiences out there. Thank you guys for joining us. I see you and I'm overwhelmed. Of course, we said good morning to Big Sis Elsie. Francisca Ado, I see you. Sister Siska, thank you for joining us. I see you, Na Akoa. You be hiding under that name, Nada. Prophetess, I see you.
Yes,
Oh my God, Dr. Ajwa, what an honor to have you here. This is such a big moment for me. Powerful women just surrounding us. Thank you so much for joining us. Um, I'm looking through just so I don't miss anyone. I see you, Sister Siska. She's watching us on YouTube. God bless you. This is Dr. Faustina. I see you. Thank you for joining us. Oh my God, the fashionista herself, Chidi. I see you. Thank you for joining us. We are so grateful. Oh my God, Miss Carolyn Powell. Ooh, this woman. I see you. Thank you for joining us. Oh my God. Oh wow. Ajua Edu, I see you, sis. Thank you so much for waking up for us. God bless you. God bless you. Oh my God. You guys are just so amazing. If I missed you, I am sorry. It's just I see so many names popping up and I'm not able to read all of them at the same time. But thank you so much. God bless you for joining us. A couple of things you said that I thought we should maybe backtrack a little bit. One is the education thing in Ghana. You know, it's funny because when I had the reverse. When I got here, I said, why are you guys learning this at this time? This is crazy. I already learned that when I was, you know, in SSS, and you're teaching me this in my master's course. What is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
It was so that it's so different. And it's funny that we don't know that we have a good thing in Ghana.
That's
We really
right.
don't. And
That's right.
all want to learn somewhere else, and they're not. I'm sorry, we live in this country and we love this country. We have nothing against America. We really love America.
Yes.
But sometimes, you know, a spade is a spade and you call it a spade. The education system is a little warped, you know.
Yeah.
Another thing about child depression, I don't know what our audience think, but what do you think about child depression? Because as I was growing up, the thing is you were heard, but you were never allowed to talk, which I believe might have contributed to you not being able to talk to your parents, not because they didn't love you, but because, you know, in Ghana mostly, and I dare say most of Africa, we just kind of don't tell our parents, I feel overwhelmed. You know, just did what they said you should do. Which in hindsight, maybe as parents, again, this message has been coming up a lot onto my younger self, parenting with grace, as my big sister Elsie would say. It's time that Africans learned how to parent with grace and to recognize that the children God gave us are gifts to be nurtured, not to be beat down to obey our rules and our laws. There's a big difference there. I probably had childhood depression too, and I just didn't know it. Because I've tried to kill myself a couple of times.
Oh, wow.
But you know, even as an adult, I've told God, kill me now. But that's a different story. So, but you know, so thank you so much for sharing this on such a public platform. Hopefully there's a young adult out there, there's a teenager out there who will, by the power of God, kind of, you know, see this, and it would encourage you that one of the most powerful things you said was depression is a self-sickness. The moment you begin to involve yourself in helping people, you are healed instantly. Right?
That's therapy. That's therapy right there.
Right there.
Yes.
Wow. Second story.
Second story. Okay.
Yes.
So God was so good. I did my A-levels in English, history, economics. And my dad, out of the blue, decided, you know what, you need to do a fourth subject. So he threw in art. I've always been a talented artist. In fact, up till today, I do paint. And I love to paint. I love to create. And so, you know, daddy always wins. I'm a typical daddy's girl.
They always
And when daddy says do art, I did art. Wesley Girls did not offer art sixth form, but so I had to join the Disco Boys. to do.
Oh, I'm sorry. We gotta hold that. You went to Santa Clausians,
Yes,
Wesley
yes,
girls. Please.
yes. That was the
That's a Bantaman
weirdest
girl's voice. I'm
experience.
sorry.
It was so weird. Okay.
Were you the
Um,
only girl?
what?
Were you
Of
the
course, I was the only girl. Hello.
Oh my God. That's funny.
So I did do art. I wrote the exam with the disco boys. God is so good because my dad had, I believe that God inspired him to do that because when my A-level results came, I had B in history, B in economics, F, no, B in history, B in literature, F in economics.
Yo, you and me both.
So
Oh God.
my C in art, which was really a crash course, I believe I was able to do it because of talent, really, more than the theory,
Yes.
enabled me to make it to into architecture school.
Wow.
My mom wanted me to be a lawyer, so I applied at Legon for law school. My dad wanted me to do architecture, so I applied at Tech. Tech took me first, so it was while a few weeks into my being in Tech that I got approved to do law in Legon, but it was too late.
It was wow.
The die was cast, and usually architecture school is 3 years, Bachelor of Science degree in design. You go out for 1 year attachment, which makes it 4 years, and then you do 2 years masters or postgraduate studies. Um, but those days we were having alutas and stuff. So when you put it all together, it took me about 7 years to
Wow.
become an architect.
For our non-speak African dialect speaking audience, aluta is
Yes,
a protest, right? When
yes,
we say aluta continua, like we're
yes,
protesting to continue,
that's
but
right.
yeah, okay.
So students protesting, lecturers protesting, upheavals in the government,
Yes.
instability.
Mm,
That sent us home for probably almost a year, so
mm.
7 years before I became an architect. And
Wow.
I always used to I called it architorture because it was torturous. Um, we had to learn not to sleep. Um,
Wow.
we would be given assignments and deadlines, and you have to. There was a day I stood up, I stayed awake for 24 hours, and you have to defend it before a jury of lecturers, and it was,
Oh my
man, it was not easy. But at the same time, I was doing high level ministry. I was singing everywhere,
God. Hmm.
singing in town, singing
How
for
old were you,
pastors.
by the way?
What's that?
How old were you, if you don't mind my asking?
I entered university when I was 19. Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I just turned 19. Um, like I said, I'm
you were
always
younger,
usually one
yes.
of the youngest.
Right.
I
Wow.
don't know. I think my parents started me in school really early. Yeah, 19 years old.
Wow.
And by then, people were waiting for me in Tech because they had already heard about me and how I was singing all over the place. So once I landed in Tech, it was over. I was in all the programs, on campus, off campus, and I had to balance that up with my architecture.
Architecture. Dr. Adjo put it there for us. Architecture.
Now, don't get me wrong. It wasn't all bad. I
Hmm.
loved it because I was naturally inclined towards that course. I loved the fact that you could just envision a house and draw it just like you envision and see it built. It was magic to me, but it took a lot. Structures was my, let's not go there. I don't want to get depressed. So
We'd already won over depression. Oh my God.
my hatred for maths played out in my university where we had to do structures. It was really difficult for me. But for the other ones, where you draw, you use your intuition, your creativity. I loved it. I excelled in that. and jury presentations. I've always been a very powerful speaker, so that was interesting to me.
Yes.
So architecture, did architecture, and my dad, as soon as I was out of school, my dad gave me my first life project to design and build him a house in his hometown in Ada, which I did to his delight and pleasure.
Oh my God.
Every time I go back to Ghana, he makes sure we go to the house to see how the house is doing. And so that was it. I thought I'd do architecture. I met my beloved husband while I was in university. He was in Legon in med school, Kolebu. Fell in love, seriously in love with this guy, gentle angel. Up till today, he has not changed. Praise Jesus.
Wow. Thank God for men like
And
that.
that alone is a story. You know, ladies.
I know that story very well.
That is another story.
Oh
but
God.
I don't want to tell that story here today. But
that's a power story that encourages for a different reason. We're going to hold on that one.
After we got married, my husband decided he wanted to further his studies and come and specialize. And by God being so good, I was a citizen. So it took me maybe 2 months, almost 3, to file for him to come to America. We relocated to America 3 months after we got married. 5 months after we relocated, I got a job with one of the most prestigious architectural firms in the whole of the United States called Godreau Inc., located in Baltimore. It was founded in the 18th century,
1800s.
1801. I mean, if you have that on your resume, you've got it made. So I worked there for a year, and then my husband got a residency in Connecticut, where my birth state, as God would have it. So we relocated to Connecticut. Now, 6 months after we got married, I was diagnosed with Polycystic Ovarian syndrome, which is, it just makes you infertile, and it makes conception almost impossible. And so began my adversity of infertility. I had to battle infertility. I can't count the number of specialists I saw, my husband and I saw. It was a very traumatic experience. Medications I had to take were making me so sick, making me depressed, adding weight to my I've always been a chubby girl.
That's the African way.
My self-esteem went into the gutters.
Wow.
My shame. You know, Africa, as soon as you get married, they start counting the months to your conception, until you conceive. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Hey, Jesus. People will meet me. When are you family planning? Are you very insensitive remarks? Meanwhile, I was weeping, fasting, praying, begging God, give me a child, give me a child, give me a child. And so with all that depression, you know what? I just quit. I quit my job one day without telling my husband. I'd had it. Because it was also the medications I was taking, the side effects were that it affects your stomach. I always had to go to the bathroom. I was always going. It was just horrible. So I stayed at home, and it was then that the Lord enrolled me into the school of the Spirit. I didn't know that God would use this to train me for ministry. Wow. So the Lord would take me on retreats. I would fast. I would pray till God made me understand that he wanted me to take my attention off the gift and put it on the giver, to pursue him and not the babies. So wow. I threw away all my medications, and I want to...
Wait. You threw them out?
I just threw them out. I was tired of going to doctors. I was tired of taking meds. I said, if God is going to heal me himself, he's going to heal me. If he won't heal me, it's okay. I'll still serve God. But I want to acknowledge Auntie Bole. You all know Auntie Bole, my beloved destiny helper that God connected me with in Connecticut. My big sister, I call her Auntie Esther
We love her
Odamtin. If
so
you're
much.
watching, I
Auntie.
love you so
Oh,
much.
yes.
God used her as an angel, a friend, to walk me through and help me to walk through
Pastor Theresa,
these years of
backtrack a little
infertility.
bit? How much time passed between not having a child and then having a child? How
I
long?
gave birth to my child in the 7th year of my infertility. So comparatively, it was not as long as many others, but it was long
Was
for
long.
me.
Yes.
It was long. And the trauma of it was that it was prophesied before it happened. And in the prophecy that the man of God gave me when I was in campus, even before I got married, he said, you are going to deal with infertility. But God said, you have to go through it. And at a certain point, God said that he will give you your children. And he actually prophesied about me having 3 daughters. Today I have 2. I don't know where the third is.
I'm here.
It might be you, Lady Z.
I'm here.
But yes, so that's the story. I went and I just gave up. I said, Lord, just do whatever you want with me. And so I was in school. I decided to live. I put my life on hold. I was just a miserable. The depression came back. The depression that I'd been delivered from in my youth came back. I would just stay at home. My husband would leave the house, right? Surgical residency, he would leave the house 5 a.m., come back the next day in the evening, and would find me in the same position in front of
Hey,
the TV, eating myself into a stupor. You know, my reaction to depression is I eat. I eat when I'm depressed. I was just eating and sitting and watching reruns till the Lord slapped me awake and said, hey, wake up. It's time to go to school. So I enrolled in School of the Spirit. I would go on retreats. The Lord, anytime I heard there was someone preaching that the Lord said, you need to hear this person, I would leave my husband. I would ask him, drive, camp, receive, and did my word. And through those interactions with God in that wilderness, in that desert place, the Lord made me understand he wanted me to do full-time ministry. I don't know how the revelation came, but it came very strong. And so anyway, God was so good, just as he said through the prophet, out of the blue, surprise, surprise, I got pregnant. And today I have 2 beautiful girls, miracle babies, no medical intervention. Both of them premature, but God delivered me. Extremely traumatic and difficult pregnancies, but the Lord answered my cry and gave me 2 precious, amazing daughters, for which I give God all the glory. And
oh my God.
so after that, my husband, who is a very studious guy, very educationally oriented, high achieving surgeon, looked at me. He said, I think you need to go back to school. You are wasting your potential. You are an intelligent woman. You can do an MBA, get back into the corporate world. Even if you don't want to get back into architecture, I will finance your MBA, and so that
Wait,
you
wait,
can
wait,
get
wait,
back
wait, wait,
in the corporate world.
wait. Let's go back. Oh, wait. By the way, we most of us who know Pastor Theresa, we call her husband Dr. Jonathan, or for those of us who want to be a little flamboyant, we call him Dr. Jonah, which is not for everybody. But wait, Dr. Jonathan said what?
He said he would take me through MBA, my master's in business administration. So
I want to hear that part.
yeah, I didn't want to do it. I really did not want to go back to school, but he just pushed me. He pushed me. And so grudgingly, I did
And
a
financed it.
2-year
That's the part I
executive
was waiting
MBA
for.
course. What's that?
You financed it.
Yeah, he paid for it. I mean, well, so I took I got a financial aid.
But still.
But once he finished med school, he just paid it off with one check, just like that. When he started working and
Those of
got
us
enough
who are looking
money,
for
he
husbands,
just paid it off. Yes, so
that's the
just
mark of a husband. Okay, please put it out there.
yes.
What?
So I didn't. God bless him. God bless him.
Yes,
He
God
did
bless
that for
him.
me. But I
Wow.
want to start bringing my story to an end because I
Yes.
believe time might be far
Oh
spent.
no, we're here for it. But yeah, let's go.
So I did the MBA, passed successfully, thank God, and then began the conflict. Here I was, God had told me in very clear, unambiguous terms, you are meant for the nations, you are meant for ministry, you are completely meant to be a priest. And here my husband goes, okay, so start sending out your resume. You need to get, start looking for a job. And man, my husband is so amazing. Even my first architecture job, the first job that I got, he's the one that sent out my resumes, wrote out my resumes, he spoils me,
Wow.
sent out my resume. And he's the one, he sat in my interview. They invited him to sit. He drove me there. They saw him. You're her husband. Oh, come on, sit in.
What?
And it was through him I got the job, actually, because at that time he had decided he wanted to do medicine, further his education. And my boss, who was interviewing me, had a medical condition. So mid-interview, he starts asking my husband questions about his condition. And they fell in love with my husband so much, they gave me the job.
Wow.
So my husband has always been such a help and such an angel,
Oh my God.
So I didn't want to disappoint him. This is a man who had paid for my education.
Yes.
So I was torn between God and my husband. My parents were also waiting for me to get back working. People would ask them, what is your daughter doing? Oh, right now she's at home. They were getting tired of that.
Just taking
They
care of
wanted to say, oh,
babies.
she's back. She's an architect. She's practicing, she's doing something
Yes.
with her life.
What parent doesn't want to say that?
Yes.
My daughter is.
I know, right? I tell you, Lady Zoe, when God decides something, don't fight him.
Wow.
I had all this guttural ink. I had a great resume, powerful resume. I sent my resumes out. Not one feedback. I sent them out in droves and not one feedback. And each time I sent it out, the Lord would greet me. You are in disobedience. You are disobeying me. So I told my husband, you know what? The Lord has called me into full-time ministry. And that is what I want to do. I don't want to work in the corporate world. Then I had to convince my parents. And we had to have those conversations. And my husband was like, "But you can be in the corporate world and be a minister." I said, that is not what God told me to do.
Oh my God.
And so it became a conflict. But when God began to actually use me and my husband witnessed the impact of my ministry, he backed down. He realized truly God has spoken. And my parents also, God had to prove me. One day I went for a program with my dad. I had visited him in Ghana and they were still, why don't you go find a job? Why don't you work? Why don't you work? And all that. And one day I said, Lord, I've had it. Just let them know that I'm called. I can't convince them. You've got to convince them. So one day I went to Ghana and I was with my dad. He had been invited to a program and he asked me to tag along. So I didn't even dress well, just tagging along. I envisioned us sitting in the back
Mm.
somewhere, just sitting through. I was just ready to receive. And we got to this program and they look and just a background. My dad is a professor. He started the University of Winnipeg. He was the first vice chancellor of the university. He also was the first vice chancellor of the university, the Methodist University. So people know him as Prof. People know him as Professor Peku.
Wow.
So as soon as he showed up, oh wow, Prof is here. So they ushered him to the front, and I was sitting with him in the front. I was like, oh gosh, I wish I dressed better. I wish. And at that time, I was beginning to have a social media presence, especially on Facebook. So more people knew me, but I didn't know them. Especially in Ghana. So this bishop comes up, and the one who organized the program comes up, and he's like, oh wow, we have Prof. I see Prof here. He started, introducing important guests and stuff. And he said, oh, wow, we have Prof here, Prof. Peku. Oh, wow, and the woman of God. This is a great woman of God, all the way from the United States. Apparently, this bishop knew me.
You didn't know
on Facebook. I did not know him from Adam. He said, oh my goodness, it's such a pleasure to see you, woman of God. And he was going on. And then he said, you know what? As I'm standing here, I was the one who was supposed to preach tonight, but the Holy Spirit is just telling me to let the woman of God come and give us a message.
Which message?
I almost fainted. I gripped my dad's hand for dear life. I said, this nightmare is not happening. No way.
Wow.
And I said, Daddy, he said, you have to go. You have to go. I said, Jesus, what am I going to say? So for a few minutes, they gave me the mic. For a few minutes, I was just giggling. I was just almost... I would look at the people, then I would look down and shake my head and laugh. I would look at them, I would shake my head and laugh. Then I said, Lord, what do I tell them? And the Lord said, just begin to worship. And my singing ministry, my worship ministry, I began to worship and the power of God just broke out.
Wow.
And by the time I finished preaching and I sat down, my dress was drenched. The Lord used me in such a powerful way. Even I was overwhelmed. And I sat down and I looked at my dad and I could see shock on his face. He had never seen me preach, never seen me lay hands, never. He took out his handkerchief because I was sweating. He just took out his handkerchief and started wiping my face. And in tree, hey, baby. Anyway, bro. In English, it means, wow, you are exhausted. You must be exhausted.
Oh my God.
When we got home, my dad told my mom, he said, Mommy, you will not believe what God did through our daughter tonight. And that was the day my parents released me fully. Is that they told us when you were born, they told us that God would use you. But we thought it would be, you would do your career but now we see that the hand of God is on you. They are up to today my best prayer partners, my best allies. Anytime I'm going to minister, I let them know, back me up in prayer, and I know my parents are praying. My husband has also been the power behind my ministry. I don't go to a bank. I don't ask for offerings. I don't ask for tithes. My husband is my bank, by God's grace.
Come on.
He funds all my...
No, you got to say the part again. My husband is my what?
He's my bank and my support.
Jesus. I love it.
He just funds my ministerial efforts. when I have to do a conference, I just tell him, sweetheart,
Wow.
the Lord has given me a vision. I want to do the conference in May. Just say, here's a check, hand me a blank check. And I do ministry. And up till today, that's how it's been. So I just want to honor my husband, Jonathan. I love you so much. I know you're not watching because you're fast asleep in your conference, and he's doing a conference in another state. But he has been such an aid and a great help to my life and my destiny. I want to also acknowledge my miracle babies, Amelia and Amoko. They
Yes.
just bring me so much joy. They give me gray hair, but I wouldn't
That's
have
what
it
they're
any
there
other way.
for.
And lastly, I
Wow.
just want to thank all my ladies that God has yoked me up with. Lady Z, you are part of my ministry. You know, it's not even, I call it a sisterhood. It's just,
Yes.
ever since we got together, we've been doing life together on
Yes.
a daily basis, just
Yes.
having fun, having each other's back, supporting each other in prayer. And I want you to know, all of you watching, that I love you all so much, my sisters. And I'm just so honored that you connected with me and my ministry. You have been such an encouragement to me and an inspiration to me, Lady Z. You don't know what you do for me. Just seeing your smile, um, assignments that I give you, responsibilities I give you, you do it excellently, passionately, joyfully, and more. And I want to thank you so much for this opportunity. I want to end with some points, lessons that I've learned. I wrote some quotes here. I said, um, um, my adversity was used by God to birth within me compassion, empathy, endurance, faith, to become a vessel of healing. And I want to encourage someone out there. You might be going through a lot, but God does not waste our pain. God produces a power out of our pain because that's just who he is. He is faithful. He's compassionate. He knows what we're going through, but he sees the fruit. And because of the fruits, the impact, the many people who are going to benefit from our desert experience, he entrusts some of us to go through hell and know that they will not give up. This right here, I'm going to allow her to go through that because I need to purge her of her pride. I need to purge her of her impatience. And I need to put in her, I need to put in her humility, put in her compassion, put in her endurance. I need to put upon her power for her pain so that she can be a vessel of deliverance. If you are going through anything, I want to encourage you. It is not to no end. There is an end to your struggle, but there is a power that comes with it. And your story will impact many others. I published a book, Hannah's Song, which is a chronicle of my days of infertility and how God delivered me. I published that book in 2013. It is still in demand today.
Yes.
I have heard miracles take place. My husband and I have heard miracles take place as people have read this book. But I had to go through the pain.
Yes.
So be encouraged, whoever you are. May the Lord give you grace. May the Lord strengthen your faith so that you can pass the test, so that others can drink from you. I also want to say that God is a navigator. We never really know how life is going to end. Sometimes the future is so foggy, but God always brings them together. Who would ever have thought? I mean, Lady Z, I wanted to be an actor. That's what I thought I would be, to the extent that I was mentored by Efo Mawugbe. I even had a sit down with Kawansa.
Oh
I
my
sat
God.
down with the man. I thought that with my acting talents, I acted in high school. Everybody in Wesley Girls around my, colleague, my age range knows of my acting prowess. And I could act In fact, I acted Haman in the Esther play one day. One of the fathers of my classmates came and watched it on speech day, and no one could convince him that I was not an advancement boy that gets quarried. I acted Haman. I acted that wicked man.
Oh my God.
With such perfection. I loved to act. I acted in Dilemma of a Ghost. I acted in My Husband Has Gone Mad Again. And I said, wow, I love to act. But my parents thought I'd be an architect. My husband thought I'd be in the corporate world. And God, the Navigator,
said no.
led me to Lady Zoe.
And so many more. So,
and so many
God.
more. Lady Z, I think I'll bring my story to an end here. I pray that someone has been inspired and encouraged. Amen. Thank you for this opportunity.
I have no words. I mean, did you notice that she is a minister? did you get a little bit of that? I mean, I don't know if you got that part, that she's a minister.
Yes, I was ordained. I was ordained.
Because, you know, we just had church here. I think maybe we're not going on Sunday because we kind of have church already. I joke, please go to church. But my God, and the chat room is like so abuzz. I have not been able to read anything just when it was getting good. We always like to put our guest on the spot. But today I'm kind of like going to let the audience choose what spot you want to put Pastor Theresa in. This is a fun part for me. Do you want another little story? Because, you know, that and some part and, the acting part, I really did not know the extent of it. Or do you want a song? We're going to let them decide. We just need 3 people to say one thing, either a song or another song.
Oh, as for song, you can hear my voice is not up to song quality today. I have been preaching. I've lost my voice.
This
another
is true.
day. I promise.
Another day. Okay. So maybe we will try not to put Pastor Theresa on the spot like we always do with our. Okay. Well, 1 vote in a song.
Oh boy.
Okay. 2nd vote in a song. Okay. A story. A song.
I am so sorry to disappoint you. I'm not about to disgrace you and me today.
You know what? We won't push it. We're just grateful you came, and we're just thankful that you came and you woke up early for us. For those of you who don't know where Pastor Theresa is, she's in the CST time zone. I never understand how America can be in 5 different time zones, but that's the power of God. And so she's had to wake up way, way earlier than normal to honor this invitation. And I am so grateful for her that this is what pastorhood and ministry should be like. And so for everyone that is on God's Women in Waiting, let me just put it out here. The platform that Pastor Theresa spearheads by the grace of God is called God's Women in Waiting. These women are women from all over the world. You can find us everywhere, all the way to India. We're all there. And it's not just a place where people come and show off. People don't even show off on this platform. It's not a place for that. No. It's a place for the word, people just encouraging each other with the word of God constantly. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to my phone, very upset about something, and there's a word right there. And I just back right down. It's also a place where people just say, hey, pray for me. And prayers are constantly flying every day, consistently, on the hour, by the hour. It's also a place where people go to say, I made a mistake. Can you help me? And there is help readily right there. No facades, nothing. So please, I personally can attest to it. In the beginning, I said to you that there's people you attach yourself to that would just give you a bounce. I got a bounce, and I believe God is giving us even more bounce. Find God's Women in Waiting anywhere, Facebook, a YouTube. Well, do we have a YouTube channel? We're gonna have one soon if we don't.
Yeah, soon, soon.
WhatsApp, you know, all the platforms, find them. Well, no, find us, because I am one of them. Find us and just like they say, "Fauntuma beboya diano." Bring your cloth and attach it to.
Or they can locate Theresa Laryea
Yes,
on all the
all the
social media,
platforms. Yes,
including
that too.
YouTube. I do
And
have a number of things out there.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Okay. Just a place to be encouraged. A lot of women just hanging out and encouraging each other. That for me is the most powerful thing, because you hardly ever see women encourage each other the way we
Yes.
do on this platform. No lie. Okay. So please, please, please find us and find Pastor Theresa Laryea. Pastor Theresa, oh my God. What a powerful story. Again, I'd heard little bits and pieces, but oh my God, you added so much meat. And I am so thankful. Thank you for opening December for us. And
Yes.
for those of you who have just joined to my younger self, we're grateful for you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Welcome. Next week, we have one of Ghana's journalists coming on to tell some of his own stories. His name is Ridwan. And, just stay tuned. And after that, we close in the third week of December, I believe, where we have another power packing pastor closing out December for us. Actually, we thought God was going to let Pastor Theresa close December for us, honestly. But it turns out God wanted her to open December and propel us into the future. So for me, this is a launching pad too. But he has another pastor, Pastor Joshua Mogri, who is actually a family member of mine, also closing December for us. And in January, you know what? I'm going to keep January a secret, because you don't know what's coming. You just don't know. So January 4th is when we come back from the Christmas break. And we have another, oh my God, keep it a secret, keep it. I want you to come and see, okay? You will not know what's going to hit you. So please, please come and just join us every Tuesday at 7:30. We will be here telling stories from the continent of Africa. I know you got blessed today. I did. So thank you for joining us. We always tell our guests to leave us with the last word. I know Pastor Theresa kind of did that already, but is there one last thing you want to share before we go? Just a little power statement.
Well, I just want to end by saying, be true to what you believe God is telling you to do. People's expectations will always be there, but the greatest person that you need to acknowledge in all your ways is God. He will lead you to purpose. Live for the audience of one, God. And what he tells you to do it, and he will lead you into purpose, impact, influence, and contentment. So I wish you all the best. Amen.
Wow. Yapon, I have nothing else to add. We're done. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Zoe Baraka. It has been an absolute pleasure coming your way with To My Younger Self. Today we've been in the studio with the powerful, indomitable, absolutely amazing Pastor Theresa Laryea. From both of us, we say we love you. Have a wonderful day. Live for the audience of one. Bye-bye.
Bye.